What is up, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in. So this week, BMW has sent me the 2018 X3 M40i. This is the first M variant of the X3. It's designed to compete against the Mercedes AMG GLC 43 and the Audi SQ5. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So the first thing that happened as soon as BMW dropped me off the car, my wife and I actually packed it up and we drove it from Fort Worth, Texas, all the way out to Frisco, Texas. It was about a 70-mile trip. Very, very comfortable car. It rode extremely well. I actually reset everything and just cruise controlled all the way there. It was a beautiful day out, so the car, of course, did incredible. I actually averaged around 34 to 35 miles a gallon on the highway, which was extremely impressive. But other than that, I pretty much drove it like this all the time.
Oh, God.
Alright, so let's talk about the exterior of the X3. So this is finished off in the Phytonic Blue, which is probably my favorite color available on this car. And it's got this really nice gloss to it. It may be kind of hard to see. You can't really see the flakes that well. You have to get really, really close and you can see them kind of deeply embedded in there. But I'm telling you, this is a very complex color and it looks very, very good on this car for sure. The one thing I do like is I do like the slightly revised front end on the new X3. It definitely puts it more in line with the quality look that most of the BMWs have. Something that I feel like the previous X3 was lacking. I do love these LED headlights at night. They look absolutely incredible. I live out here in Fort Worth, Texas, so the visibility isn't too great at night, and these headlights do a fantastic job of lighting up the road in front of me. So, like I said, I think that's great. The kidney grille is going to be your traditional BMW style kidney grille. You've got the aluminum slats going vertically through there. You do have a little opening on each side, so if you guys can kind of see there's a little opening. You have your radiator right in the middle, and then over to the left you are going to have your intercooler, and then you have another opening right there for air to kind of flow around the front end of the car. And then you do have a really nicely sculpted hood. I do like that a lot. It looks really good once it's cleaned up. It gives it a very, very aggressive look. You do have 3 wheel options on here. You can get the base 19-inch wheels. Mine has the upgraded 20-inch wheels. And you can even upgrade to 21-inch wheels from here. My tester is also wrapped in the Pirelli tires, and then you do get M performance brakes as standard. So you do have some very good stopping power available in all 4 corners. You have a functional vent right here on the side of the car, which does a pretty good job, I guess. You've got this silver finish on the mirror cap, which gives it a little bit of breakup from all the black and the blue going throughout the car. So it really matches well with some of the silver accents, especially like with the wheels and everything like that. It just gives it a very good profile look. Love the character lines on this car. Love the overall look of this car. This is one good looking SUV, and the sun is going down right now, so I can give you guys a good look of how this car looks with good sunlight hitting it. But that blue looks incredible. The headlights on here also look really good at night, and when you unlock the car at night, there's a light carpet that comes out, which is basically your car rolling out the red carpet for you as you enter. So that's a pretty cool feature. M40i badge over to the right, and other than that, it's a very nice, tidy looking rear end on this car. But the best thing about this car is the exhaust. It has one mean cold start, and then once the motor warms up, it sounds so good.
So there's a few ways you can get inside the X3. You can use your standard key, which is going to be this key right here. It's going to have your unlock, your lock, your trunk release, your panic button. You've got this nice M pattern right on the side, and then there's a button right over here, and if you push that, that'll release the key, which will then allow you to get your belongings out of the car if the battery on this were to die or if the battery on the car were to die. So right now the mirrors are folded in, which means that it's locked. So if I unlock it, mirrors are going to fold out, lights are going to turn down because it's right around dusk, so it's getting a little dark. We'll go ahead and walk up to the door. And so this does have keyless entry, so what that means is there's a little ribbed pattern right there. So if I push that, that's going to lock it. Mirror's gonna fold in, and then all I have to do is put my hand right behind here. That's gonna unlock it. Right, so starting over here on the door, guys, you do have a lot of nice materials coming over here. So first you're going to have your leather, which is going to line this entire top part, and it's got a really soft plushness to it. You guys can see, here's your accent lighting coming all along the top. Got some material right here, aluminum right here. You do have all of your driver settings, so your lock, your unlock, your 2 driver settings. Lots of leather coming all through the middle with accent stitching. Your armrest is going to be soft as well. All of your window controls are located right here. Window locks, and you have your trunk release, which is located right there as well. You do have a really good amount of storage space right underneath here. You have your M40i badge. You're going to have M branded kick plate right over here, and then of course you have aluminum pedals. You're going to have all of your adjustments right here on the side. So you do have your forward back, you've got your lumbar support, and you even have this button that will adjust the bolsters on the side if you're a little bit thinner like I am, or if you're a little bit wider. So it will contour to your body, which is really nice. And if you guys can see here, this leather is super plush. It feels really good, and it's got a real nice thickness to it. I do love the pattern of it. It just looks really, really good. And you do have a thigh extension right here. So if you push that, push in, pull out, you do have that, which is really nice. So guys, let's go ahead and hop on the inside. Really nice solid shut. I love the way it sounds. Actually, I like the way it sounds when you open the door. So when you pull this, it's got a real solid click right there, and then yeah, so I mean, it is German built BMW, so you'd expect it at this price point especially to be very solid quality, and it is. But here's a quick look at the cabin. And starting the vehicle, as long as you have the key inside, you just put your foot in the brake and you're gonna press the start button to start. You've got that beautiful startup. Sounds really good. First thing I want to talk about is the steering wheel. So the steering wheel is really nice. It has really good quality leather on it. A real nice chunky feel to it. Feels really, really good. You've got this nice aluminum accenting going along the outside. And as far as the controls, I'll get into the controls on here in just a second. But you do have paddle shifters back here. So you've got these nice aluminum paddle shifters with this really nice padding on the back. It's a ZF 8-speed, so it does extremely fast shifts, as you guys will see later on in the video. But one thing I do want to point out, you do have a heated steering wheel down here. I actually didn't even notice that was there until probably a day ago, and I've had this car for almost a week. And you push that button, steering wheel heating activated, and push it one more time to deactivate. So, like I said, I'll get into the controls in just a second, but coming over here to the left, you do have a little area down here which you can put coins. So if you see there, it's nicely lined in felt, and then of course I can probably fit my fist in there, so it's pretty big. You can definitely put your wallet or things like that in there. You do have all your lighting controls right over here off to the side. Fog lamps, lights, interior lighting, different things like that. Coming up here, you've got this really nice aluminum trim, and then you've got this gloss black trim coming right here. The entire dash is going to be lined in leather, so you guys can see there, it's really soft. It's got this nice stitching going all along the entire outside of it. You do have your heads-up display right here, so if you guys can see there is your heads-up display, which is really nice. It's probably one of my favorite features in the entire automotive industry. I absolutely love the heads-up display. And then coming across here, you've got more leather. You have your speaker here, which is part of your Harman & Kardon sound system, like I mentioned earlier. And you know what? To give you guys a good example of how this sound system sounds, here's a little clip of me recording the interior of the car with the sound system on. So if you do have headphones, I do recommend headphones for this next part. So yeah, as you guys can hear, it sounds really, really good. Coming over here, you do have this nice aluminum piece. You've got this kind of textured material right here, so you can actually feel the sort of textures on it. Not really sure what material it is, but it does look really nice. You also have more aluminum trim coming all along the outside over here. Of course, you've got your start-stop button located right there. More aluminum trim with more gloss. All of your buttons are going to be located right here. So for those of you that still like buttons, you do have a volume knob. All of your presets, previous, next, eject for CD player. So you do have a CD player in here. All of your HVAC controls, heated seats. So this does have heated seats only, no cooled seats. And then of course all of your fan speeds. Dual zone climate control, AC, synchronize, all that good stuff. You do have an M badge right here, which it looks kind of tacky, but it's really solid in there. So at least it's a solid piece and it's not just some afterthought. This does close. Of course, you can push that back. You do have a wireless charging pad right down here, a USB port, and then an area right back here to put coins, which is really nice. The cup holders on here are very good. You can fit 2 big size drinks in here, no problem. So for those of you who like to get your big gulps at 7-Eleven like I do, it definitely passed the test. You do have your famous BMW gear selector here. So all you do is put your foot in the brake, push this button, push it all the way back for drive. You're gonna push it forward 1 time for neutral, and then push it all the way forward for reverse, and that's gonna pull up all of your cameras and things like that. So you do have all your different views, which is nice. And then your mirrors are gonna aim down, and if you put it back in drive, your mirror is going to go back up to their set positions, which is nice. Then also when you push it to the left, that's your sport mode, and then you do have your manual mode, which is this right here. The only reason I do the quotes with the sport mode, because you can just put it in sport mode using this button, but you know, it does have the S on there, so in previous generations, I'm guessing that's what that was for. And you push this button on top to put it in park. So as for the driving modes over here, so you do have your traction control, your sport mode, comfort mode, eco, and adaptive. So of course your adaptive will adjust depending on your driving style. And then I'm not going to get super in depth with a lot of this, but if you push your eco mode, so let me see here, if I put it into eco mode, you can actually go through and you can individually customize your eco mode and your sport mode. If I put it in comfort mode, it basically has its own preset setting that it won't let you adjust. And then sport mode, you can go through and adjust. So you do have 2 settings for sport mode. You have standard, and then you have plus. So the plus is going to be the most aggressive, and then of course your individuals, you can go through and adjust it exactly the way you want, which is a nice little feature. So coming back down here, you do have your electronic parking brake, auto hold. So what that does is you push the brake all the way in, it holds the brakes for you at a stoplight, and then you just tap the gas to continue driving. Over here to the left, you do have all of your sensors. So if you push this parking sensor button, that is going to pull up the screen that we just saw. But another cool thing it'll do is actually part of the gesture control. So if I put my hand in front of it and do a pinching motion, and I swipe like that, I don't know if you guys can see, but if I do this, it'll actually give me a 360 view of the car, which is pretty neat. And it looks just like it, which is pretty funny. You know, you would really never use it, but it's definitely a gimmicky feature, but it's pretty cool to show your friends for sure. You do have a camera here, so that's just your front facing camera, so you can see what's in front of you. You can see that beautiful sunset going down, which is why there's a lot of glare right now. And then coming down, you do have your hill descent right here. And this button, another thing you can do is self-parking. So this does park itself, but it utilizes the brake, the gas, and the steering. So it takes full control of everything. Coming over here to the armrests, you've got really nice soft padding, really plush. Feels really good, and it's really wide. So I can definitely fit my arm, and then my wife has been riding with me a lot, so no problems there. Decently deep storage space. You've got 1 USB port right down here. Really nice solid shut. That's just a little something I like. And while the sun's shining on it, here's a good look at this beautiful leather one more time. I love this seat design. You do have your iDrive control here. So like I said, to really go into these menu settings, it'll take a long time. So I'm just going to go over the basics. So you do have all of your media, which I already showed you guys sort of how that works. You have Apple CarPlay on here. Your communication settings, your navigation settings. You do have your connected drive, so you can see things like your weather, different things like that. My vehicle, so if I click that, you can go through and adjust all of your lighting, speed, parking, climate functions, vehicle tracking, driver attention control, which is pretty cool. You can actually adjust it to where it'll basically suggest places to stop if it detects that you're falling asleep or not being attentive. So that's a pretty neat feature right there. Coming up to your lighting though, this is probably my favorite. So your interior lighting at night, you do have all your ambient lighting. You can go through your colors and adjust. So you can start with bronze, then you have bronze with a white contour, orange, orange with a white contour, you have white, then you have blue, then of course blue with a white contour, green, green with a white contour, and then lilac, and then lilac with a white contour. So if you like little features like that, it definitely brightens up, literally brightens up the interior at night, and it looks absolutely incredible. And of course you're gonna have your notifications, so once your phone's hooked up. But if you have Apple CarPlay, it doesn't really even utilize that because everything is controlled through Apple CarPlay. So like I said, pretty neat feature. I actually do like this screen design. A lot of people may not like how it sticks up like that, but if you guys can see here, if I'm looking straight, it's really not in my line of sight. I'm still looking straight here. You just have to glance right over here to see what you need to see. But then as you're looking here, you still have your main gauges and you still have your heads-up display, which like I said, that's my favorite feature out of any car technology right now. I love heads-up displays. So coming above, you do have your mirror with your home link buttons located right on the bottom. You do have your interior lighting. You're going to have your sensor here that is going to control your gesture control, so it kind of aims down right in this area. So with your gesture control, one cool thing that you can do, so I'm just going to turn on just AM FM right now. So let's say if I wanted to turn it up, I would just spin in a circle and then go back down like this to turn it down. I can do this to mute, and do it one more time to unmute. So you do have pretty cool controls. Like I said, it works really well. My wife was obsessed with using it, and it works almost every single time. There's a few times when it wouldn't work, but for the most part, I'm actually impressed with how well they did at making this feature pretty much foolproof. So that is something I did utilize a lot once I got used to it. You do have your vanity mirrors, your mirror, and then your light right up here. A nice little area for it to hold your cards. And then you've got this massive moonroof, which is beautiful. The only thing I don't like is the sunshade. It takes a little while to close. It literally just drags. But like I said, that's just a minor complaint. Very minor complaint. But other than that, guys, it pretty much sums up the front seat. I am gonna go over this real quick with you guys. So as far as your steering wheel mounted controls, you do have your cruise control settings, and then over here to the right, you're gonna have your settings that are going to control all of your media. So you can use all that, your volume, or you can use the circular thing with your finger. And then right here in the middle, you actually don't have a lot of adjustments for here. The only adjustments you're gonna have is when you put it into different modes. It's going to change the way it looks, your comfort mode, and then your sport mode. So over to the left, you do have your fuel. In sport mode, you're gonna have your speed over to the left as well, your tack over to the right, and then your water temperature over to the right as well. Right in the middle, I have it set up to where my clock is up top, and then my temperature, you can adjust that actually in the settings, but that's pretty much the only thing you can adjust. And then if you hit this stalk over here to the left, which is going to be for your blinkers, push that button there, and that's going to adjust all of your settings right down here. So my average MPG that I've been doing while driving is about, let's see, 25.1, and I've been giving this thing some gas, so I mean, I'm actually very impressed with that number. Like I said, that's pretty much it for the front seat, you guys, so we'll go ahead and hop in the back and check out the rear legroom. All right, you guys, so coming to the back of the X3, I've got a surprising amount of room back here. You can recline the seat, so there's a button on the side of the seat, of each seat, and you pull that button out and you can recline the seat. So if I put the seat to its most upright position, I have probably 4 to 5 inches of headroom, which is, it's very impressive. Even more impressive than that, if I fold the seat backwards and I recline it all the way back, that increases to about 5 to 6 inches of headroom. And once again, I'm 6 feet tall, so that's very, very impressive. As far as legroom goes, I've got a good enough room to put my feet underneath here. I have about 2 to 3 inches of knee room between my knees and the front seat, which is set to my driving position. Other than that, the materials back here are very, very nice. You have cup holders right in the middle, so you fold down the middle armrest, you do have cup holders right there. You have a set of climate control adjustments right back here as well. You have one of the most beautiful views, especially if you have the sunscreen open, of just the sky, and just you have a great view of the front dash back here. And of course the door has the same quality that you'd expect as the front seat. So you still have all that stitching, you've got the aluminum, you've got the X embedded into that, which looks very, very nice. You do have a map pocket behind each of the doors. And other than that, it's a pretty nice place to be. You can definitely fit a car seat back here, so I was actually able to put in a car seat, and it does a very good job of holding it in place. There's plenty of room, ease of access, getting in and out, it's perfect. So let's go ahead and check out the back. All right, you guys, so coming to the back of the X3, there's a button located right underneath the symbol. You're gonna push that. That's going to open up the trunk for you. As you guys can see, there's a very good amount of room located back here. You do have little pockets off to the side that you can kind of store things in right over here. Nothing on this side. You do have just kind of an indented area. You also have 2 latches located here and one located over here. Now you pull those latches and that's actually going to fold down the seats for you. And then of course, folding down the seats, it's going to give you a very impressive amount of room, and you'll really be surprised how much stuff you can pack into this little crossover. Coming over here to the side, you do have hooks. So you have a hook right here, you have a 12-volt located right underneath there. This one does have a cargo cover. So if you pull that, just gonna click it right into there. Very simple, that way no one can see what you have lying in the back. Just gonna pull it back out. This is hydraulically assisted, so if you pull that up, you guys can see there's a little storage area underneath there. That's pretty much it for the trunk, you guys. So let's go ahead and take it for a drive. All right. Nice. First thing you'll love about this car is the exhaust. Sounds so good. All right, so let's start off with a little launch control. So what we're gonna do, very simple. So all you have to do is click this into sport mode. Just gonna click it into its standard sport mode setting. You're gonna tap this traction control button one time. So I'm gonna tap that just like that. All right. So I'm gonna slap it into drive and then into its manual mode. And then from there, all you have to do, it's really simple. So you're just gonna floor the brake and then floor the gas. It'll say launch control activated, and then off you go. Whoa! Oh! Jeez Louise. This thing is so quick. All right, so the motor in this car, it's gonna be a 3-liter inline twin power turbocharged 6-cylinder. So the twin power doesn't mean twin turbo. It's basically a dual stage turbocharger. So just basically like a twin scroll. This is actually It's basically the same motor from the BMW M2, and let me just tell you guys this, it is a beast of a motor. It is so fast, so fast. And as for this transmission, this is the tried and true ZF 8-speed transmission. However, for whatever reason in this application, it works just buttery smooth. Now I will say that between Sport and Sport Plus, the shifts in Sport Plus are just a little more aggressive. In Sport, in my opinion, from what I've experienced this week of driving it, Sport is where it's at. It's very, very smooth shifts, and you still get the same precision and the same speed as you do in Sport Plus, just not the jerkiness. Love it in Sport mode, it's great. Of course, once you put it into Eco mode, it does a fairly good job as well. You know, most people aren't going to be driving this car that way. You know, it is the M40i version, so it's got a lot of kick, it's got a lot of performance to it. And trust me when I say, you're gonna wanna take advantage of that performance as often as possible. So I do have it in its Eco mode right now. It's nice and quiet, comfortable. The steering lightens up, and it's a beautiful driving luxury car. However, Sport mode is definitely where it's at. So like I said, the shifts are extremely immediate, as you'll see right now. Super quick. Downshifts are almost instantaneous. So if I downshift right now, I don't know if you guys can hear those pops. Wonder if I can give you guys some exhaust right here. It's crazy that a little crossover sounds this good. Oh, it books. Man, love this car. So as for handling, it is a BMW after all. This has the M suspension on here. So the suspension is a little bit rougher than you would get on your normal X3, obviously, because this is the M version. So coming in this corner, now it is all-wheel drive, so it grips very well. So you do have 3 driving modes. You do have your Sport, Comfort, Eco, and then you have your Adaptive, like I explained earlier in the video. One thing I do like, I love this heads-up display. Like I said, it does a very, very good job. I love all the convenience features about the car. You know, it rides really well. The steering is great. I have heard a lot of people complain that the steering is too heavy in Sport mode, and I really don't think that's the case at all. I mean, it's definitely heavy, but it's not too heavy to where it's worth complaining about it. You know, I feel like some people just like to nitpick. You know, a few things that you will probably be annoyed with is, like I said, when you're in Sport Plus, the shifts are so jerky. But once you go into regular Sport mode, that's what I have found to be the best way to combat that. The suspension does feel a little busy at times, you know, but if you're getting the performance version, you kind of come to expect that. You kind of are prepared for that going into it, I feel like. It does a very good job. The seats are very comfortable. They feel really, really good. The visibility is great. So as you guys can see, I have incredible visibility, good mirrors. The infotainment screen, you know, a lot of people don't like this pop-up design, but this works really, really well, actually. It's not in my way, it's off to the side. That way my whole line of sight is in this general area, and I think it's great. The iDrive system is perfect. You know, really not a ton of complaints about this car other than the price. I mean, this is almost $70,000, you know. It's right at around the $65,000 to $66,000 mark, and that's pretty high for, you know, a 2-row little crossover SUV. You know, like I said, you do get the performance with it, but that really depends on your personal traits and what you're looking for in a car. Well, you guys, I really hope y'all enjoyed my review of the 2018 BMW X3 M40i. I really enjoyed making this video for you guys. If you did like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Be sure to share it with anyone you think is interested in this car. Be sure to comment below. Would you guys choose this over the Mercedes or the Audi? Which one is your favorite and why? Also, be sure to hit the subscribe button by clicking below. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can click up to the left, or you can click over to the right to see some more of my other videos. But thank you guys for watching, and y'all take care. Bye. Anybody care for some popcorn?